Hi, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have a great show for you today. We're going to kick it off with a really interesting group that I think you will enjoy learning about. I'm joined by Madison's Leading with Power, and this is Josh. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to chat with you today. So you are sort of the area's leader for this chapter, and we're talking about a men's lunch gathering that happens typically monthly, but let's talk about the main sort of purpose or mission of Leading with Power.
Yeah, our focus has been to help men become the best version of themselves they can be. We understand how busy life is with work life, balancing family life and community life. I myself understand this, married with 3 young kids, own a business and so forth. So we're trying to create a format for men to get together to help build up them, enrich them, and connect them with one another in order to help them to get to be the best version they can be of themselves. So
I love that concept. I was on your website earlier today and watched a video, as I mentioned before we started, and this is just such a unique group. I encourage you to go to the website and check it out. Let's talk about how this group got started. What's the history?
So a gentleman named Keith Tompkins, who runs the chapter up in Lake Hallie, started this 6 years ago. He had a vision for wanting to help men find their goodness inside themselves and just show their true colors of leadership. And so he had an idea in his head, came back from a vacation and realized, I'm going to keep this very simple and subtle. I'm going to do it over lunch. I'm going to keep it very casual. I'm going to bring in provocative, engaging speakers for men to listen to. So it started 6 years ago up in Lake Hallie by Eau Claire. It then moved down to La Crosse. There's a chapter there. There's a chapter in Wausau, Des Moines, and last year we brought it here to Madison, a group of us did. And where it goes from there, it keeps growing and growing at that point. So
one thing that I loved about the video that I watched is it talks about breaking down barriers and getting rid of your ego and just being yourself a little bit instead of what somebody might expect you to be.
Yep.
So when someone comes to a lunch, what can they expect?
Yeah, so the big thing is that we want to keep it fun, keep it simple, and kind of let men just be men. There's not a pressure situation for them. So they're going to come in, find someone with a smile. There's some resources for them if they so want it. They come in, have some fellowship. We have food, so good food at that.
Should have led with that.
That's right. And then we have engaging speakers, so they listen to. We've had some very provocative speakers. New York Times bestseller, Stephen Mansfield came in. We've had folks talk from Tom Thibodeau about servant leadership and right down to John McHugh with Quick Trip and kind of the culture they're in. So it's a comfortable setting for men to do as they wish during that time period, whether it's talk with others or just come in and listen and leave. So
I love it. And have a good lunch, of course.
And have a good lunch, that's right.
So you mentioned you've got 3 young children, you're running a business,
Yep.
You're married. Obviously this is a busy time for you. Mm-hmm. Who really should come to this lunch? Somebody who's busy, somebody who needs a little guidance?
Right. So one of the other main themes of what we're trying to do is help men find balance in their lives. So obviously my story is an example of just that. So we're looking for anybody that's looking to kind of enrich themselves, wants a little bit more out of their life and just get connected or just hear a positive message. And so though we're based in Christian values at its core, we are looking for men that are churched, unchurched, faith, no faith. It's irrelevant to us who's showing up to this. But if you're looking to get yourself back on the tracks or enhance yourself, we're the group for you for that.
Wow, I think that's so great. Let's talk a little bit about some future plans here. So Leading with Power, like you said, there's some other areas, other chapters. What are the future for the Madison chapter?
So as we keep growing in numbers would be one thing, so growing a bit wider in reach, maybe to more businesses, networking with other men's groups that are in the community already established would be important. But growing wider doesn't mean we're growing deeper. So the idea is with our steering committee and those that attend regularly is keep making connections with folks. You have coffee with individuals, is growing more depth with one another, building relationships. And that's what we're trying to help folks do here as we go through this whole process. We understand the challenges many men face. I mean, whether it's, again, work life, just the balance of all these things and the complexities of life financially and so forth. So it's okay to grow wide, which is more folks, but we want to grow deeper with individuals as well when people are ready for that.
Yeah, and I think some of the expectations have just changed over the years. What's on somebody's plate these days is so different than it used to be, and it's gotten more challenging in many ways in the expectations of an individual. So I think what you're doing is wonderful. This group meets from September through May. So the next lunch, if you want to get involved, is May 2nd. And what's the best way to do that if someone wants to attend?
There's, if people want to put their feelers out and learn a little bit more in a very simplified fashion, I would encourage them to visit our website, which is madison.leadingwithpower.org. We post all of our videos on YouTube as well. They can see some intro, and every speaker's up there as well to kind of get a feel for it. And there's more information on the website as well, or they can reach out to me directly and I can kind of guide them as well. So
excellent. And you don't have to join or do anything
Nope,
to
no
come
membership
to the
or
lunch.
anything.
You just
Right.
show up for free the first time, right?
There you go. First time is free, and after we just we ask for a donation if you can afford it to cover the food. That's all we're looking to do. So.
Wow. Such a great group. Okay. Again, this is Josh with Madison's Leading with Power. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town after the break.